taking battle objectives instead of war camp camping or just farming kills out in the lakes, right? To focus the fight more towards the objectives and to focus the fight more towards the keeps. There should be an incentive for that.
Well,
and I forgot exactly what the suggestion was, but basically the more objectives you own, you're rewarded for those kills more, or something like that. I don't remember.
Well, currently they've got the buff system of when you take an objective, you get a buff in that zone. I think that's sort of in the right direction, but people just merry-go-round the objectives with both sides. That way both sides pretty much have it, and then they just fight at the war camps.
Well, it's a while back I had...
RBR would be nice.
A while back I had a discussion with some of the staff about the Tier 1 with the war camp farming. And I mentioned, because there's a number of like towers in multiple Tier 1 zones that could be turned into like limited siege type setups, because they've already got flags attached to them anyway, to more or less get away from the war camp and get people used to the idea of actual proper siege tactics instead of what's going on now, which is essentially teaching people the idea of sitting at the camps.
Yeah, and I think I agree with Bookham, like, and this kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, is just like, right now it's not super incentivized to like advance the campaign.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's like, okay, like I'm gonna get crest for war camp farming, number one. Number one is honestly, it's the easiest content to get into. You just log on, you're like, okay, I want to make some progress on my character for like 30 minutes. I'm just gonna go throw myself at their blob, you know, and get some kills. I think that it's super easy. Like, I don't think fighting for the objectives is properly incentivized. You know, anyone running resources just like, ugh, I'm doing my realm a favor. You know what I mean? Like, if you make taking the zones and like doing the objectives more appealing, like if you adjust the awards, so it's like, I really want to like fight to take this zone, and I really want to like ram. You know what I mean? Then I think that, you know, we'll kind of get away from this like this kill farming, which I think is less fun.
Yeah.
You know, people there's one more point that I want to make, and that is like, I think that like a lot of people are into like the, you know, the kill death farming and stuff, and like it makes people afraid to like go in, or like makes people leave warbands if like they wiped once or twice. And I think that, like, you know, that kind of doesn't really have a great place in this game. Like, it's not a great fit, and I think that, you know, that also kind of hampers the, hey, I want to try really hard to get this big reward on this conquering this keep. But I just think we need to incentivize like moving the campaign forward, and like really having a sense of like feeling good about taking a zone or like taking a fort. I don't know how to do that. You know, maybe just tune the box rewards or whatever, but I think...
Hey, there's 7 of us in this chat, and we each have 10 or so viewers. I'm sure somebody out there has an idea, or a couple of people have an idea of what you can do to incentivize pushing the zone forward. Once you have full contribution in a zone, there's no reason to hold it. Why are we not pushing? So somebody's got to have some kind of idea. And I'm sorry, I kind of dipped out of chat for a second. My daughter interrupted me, so I didn't get to hear the whole conversation.
It's not so much not having an idea, it's the more of a problem of getting people to actually want to move, because even when most people on the server know me, and I sit there even when incentives have been offered in the past, the community simply refuses to budge off of it because they don't want to do anything.
I'd like to see the
they
data.
Want to sit there. They want to sit there and farm kills.
Wait. Part of that, what you're talking about, Todd, part of that is because the player base has changed since the time on the server when you could lock bearings and then open a fort, take the fort, and take the second fort and open the city. Okay, since those days, I would say 95% at least of the player base has changed. Maybe that's a little high, but you get my point. Most of the people who are playing then aren't playing now. And so most of the people who are playing now don't have that experience of what it was like to have your contribution actually mean something. And
True, I'll agree there, but it's still the fact that the player base now, even when you sit there and explain to them that things, they don't want to hear it, because all they want to do, all their funnel focused on is one, getting their kills, and they don't want to do anything else. And I mean, even older players that have been on the server for a while, I hear it out of them too. They just don't care. They won't budge.
well, the meta has changed. The only way to change it,
I just think there's this, fear of, and I get on people about this all the time, and people get extremely pissed at me in T4 chat because I'll just spawn rams. But I think that there's a fear of failing, of quote unquote feeding the other faction. Right.
There's no penalty for failing.
Yeah, and I think people oh, I don't want to ram this keep unless there's 2 warbands sitting outside blocking the doors, so there's no challenge, and we just PV door the keep because we just kept them all out. I just think that I think ramming is just way too conservative right now.
You're not wrong, Tommy. There's a lot of people on both sides that unless the deck is completely stacked in their favor, no, they are afraid of losing. Their mindset is if they lose, it's end of the world.
Man, I can't believe you would bullshit out like that.
Okay, so I've heard this before, and I 100% agree. If you pull a ram, it takes the fight off of the lakes and puts it on the fort, and everybody likes forts. I mean, not forts, keeps. Everybody likes hitting a door with a ram, right? I'm being facetious. Not everybody likes keep fights. They're very boring.
There, a lot of classes just don't have something to do while you're hitting the door.
No,
I think that's part of the
problem. You just kind of stand there. I mean, yeah. It does focus the fight in one spot. You're either defending or attacking, and you're not. There's a lot of players that are not doing anything, and it's a funnel fight. Those aren't exactly fun for everybody. I understand that people don't like taking the fight to the keep. It's not as fun, but that kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier with pushing the zone and pushing the zone and pushing the battle forward to the next zone. So a lot of players don't want to take the fight to the keep because they want to be in the lakes fighting.
Well, I think a lot of people are saying they would like to see, because I think some people are afraid, or that's the general vibe I'm getting from people is, at least a couple of the comments I've seen recently in chat, that people want to get into the big dumb fight. And I think that is one of the things this game actually does pretty well, is the big fight. So I think instead of just having it be totally brain blank there, sorry. Instead of having it be just supplies, maybe the big fight contributes to the campaign. Maybe it affects the supplies of the zone. Maybe, so if you're fighting in the zone, you're contributing to the campaign, other than just a fight is happening. What do you guys
I think that would be kind of tricky to implement, just because like it would make people even more afraid to die, and like make people only want to take 100% certain fights, and would cause one faction to just log off, which is a huge issue right now.
We already have that issue as it is. If you're getting stomped over and over again, people either leave that zone or they go play a different game. I mean, and nobody likes to lose over and over again. It's not fun for anybody.
Well, something I want to bring up in conjunction with what we're discussing, with the large-scale battles. I've talked to Hermit about this. Hermit, you know I'm planning to possibly do another test of the whole idea for Barrett Var, correct?
Yeah.
I need the rest of you to go ahead and start putting out feelers, because I'm going to move forward with that test, and hopefully that can also help me weed out some, or put some ideas together to submit to the devs about some large, maybe
You're gonna
with
need
the
to
campaign.
What you're talking about. I don't think most people even know what you're talking about.
Okay, the Battle of Barrett Var was the idea is inside the old city that's in the tier 3 zone, the tier 2, tier 3 zone. For those that don't know, it's semi in the PvP area, some of it's in the PvE area. I did a limited test. I'm wanting to do a larger test because I talked to Max and them about expanding the PvP area. So if you watch the video that Karis,
I put the link up.
If you guys will put a link in your chats to where the rest of everybody can watch it, you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. Anyway, Hermit, I'm wanting to do a larger test with as many people as I can to put more of a stress test and implementation of fine-tuning things, but also to see how do like a campaign setting of it, to put into practice the idea of what y'all are suggesting with maybe some incentive ideas, and push the idea forward with the devs, give them some ideas of what y'all are talking about.
Fast man, let me tell you my story, man.
So what I need from y'all is if you go to your communities, talk to them, start putting the word out that I'm going to do a second test of the Battle of Barrett Var. Look at that video, you'll get an idea, and as soon as I'm back online, I will start putting things together. I'll get a date planned out for it, and I will try to do multiple tests of it so that people across the spectrum can participate in it. But the main idea is going to be I'm going to try and put 3 war bands on either side, at least 1 pre-made, 2 pugs, and those groups are going to have to work together, and I'll lay out the strategy for the defending side and the attacking side, and then both sides will reverse themselves for the event, or at least for the test, and I'll walk you through everything. I'll do the same thing I did with the first test. I'll lay it all out. I think you guys will enjoy it, because the first bunch that helped me test it, they enjoyed it. It's a full-size city battle, but open world. It's not phased. It will be a basically open world, true slugfest.
No groups allowed.
No, you'll be.
I'm
You'll
just
have
kidding,
your-
bro. I'm just
He's,
kidding.
he's referring to Chad, I think.
No, I was talking to him, but I was just kidding.
Oh,
Funny, har.
It's hilarious. You said
But
slugfest.
yeah, Karis linked it in the group chat you guys are part of. If you want to put a link in your individual stream chats, but that
well,
video
the
breaks
streams
down.
the stream chats are connected, so I've already linked.
Yeah, well, the video breaks down the rough idea, where the where the flags would be is just a rough idea, but the basic phases of the fight, again, that's a rough idea, but you can see how big the city is, and it just gives you a basic rough idea. If anybody wants to submit ideas, feel free, drop them in my DMs, I'll look at them. But this is something I've been working on for over 10 months now.
It was announced that a musical version of Lord of the Rings will open in Chicago. So if you love musicals and you love Lord of the Rings, high school must have been a tough time.
Sounds cool. Is the goal to almost have it like a Land of the Dead type thing, where it becomes like
kind of? It's the idea the idea that I pitched to the devs. Max liked the idea is to eventually expand PvP into PvE areas that aren't used. It won't affect the areas that are actual questing areas, but areas that are basically dead areas that aren't used.
Like West Prague.
Yeah. Areas that sit unused that you never see anyone in.
Oh, I'm sorry, Western Plaguelands.
Funny.
Not the Ghostlands?
Funny. Y'all are never gonna let me live that down.
No.
Nope.
Also, you still got 2.5 more months of Destro jokes, so it's okay.
It's time played, right?
Yeah. I don't know what the reference is to. Yes, it's time played. Okay, yes, I do know what you're talking about. Unless Karen is right, in which case he blew up his computer to run the clock.
Wait, say again?
Toth blew up his computer to run the clock down on him.
Oh, right, yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to put forward to you guys to be asking in your chats, I spoke with Max a little while back, and he showed interest in doing another dev Q&A, like he had done before, where they come in and answered some questions. So kind of be doing polls of your individual communities. Again, how the last one was done. Your chats can submit questions. You can then send them to me, and I will send them to the dev staff. They have to be vetted. That's the only way they'll do this eventually. I'm hoping the devs will eventually do a Q&A where they'll just answer questions on the fly within reason. But for now, go ahead and start putting some questions together of what you would like to ask them. I do not have an ETA on this because the staff is still backed up working on stuff, but Matt said he would like to do another Q&A, so that is being planned to be in the works. So I'm going ahead and putting the word out on that. As soon as I can get a time locked down for it, I will let you guys know, and we will be announcing that for a podcast.
Peter, I'm standing here because I am the only Asian recurring character on the series.
Before we get to an end point here, I do have one question that I'd like to put out for open discussion.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? Guys!
And I'm serious, I really would like to hear what you guys have to say about it, and that is the scenario matchmaking system. It was hinted at earlier, but we never really kind of got to it. I tested it when it was open, whatever that was, 10 days, 2 weeks, whatever, and all the scenarios I got into, time-wise, they boiled down to one every 30 minutes. I got one pop every 30 minutes. but all of them were perfectly balanced by archetype. Now, that, of course, says nothing about skill, but then it's not designed to do that. But
what do you mean balanced by archetype? Was it like
two tanks? Yeah, 2 tanks,
side?
2 DPS, 2 healers. Every group was 2 tanks, 2 DPS, 2 healers.
Oh, that's going to be problematic.
And that's what the matchmaking revamp is designed to do, and that's why they had it open for test. And so, those are the 2 big takeaways for the first test I was in. And was that every scenario I got into was balanced in that regard by archetype, but the pop times were, of course, increased.
Yeah, because there's not enough tanks. And everybody plays a DPS healer.
Yeah, but they just count as DPS.
Yeah, I think for the test, if I'm not 100% sure, but I think they did. I think it was just a healer counted as a healer and counted as a healer, whether they were DPS or not. So if anybody has any commentary.
Yeah, my opinion is I think I'm okay with waiting the 30 minutes. If I was not okay, I would, play another class. The closest I've come to crashing out and quitting this game, I've only been playing since November, right? When I was leveling, the closest I've ever come to quitting this game, I crashed out on stream. There was an order group that was queuing like 5 healers on the mid-tier, so like 16 to 39 bracket. They were just taking 5 healers into Ekrund and nothing could die, and they would always just win by having more heals and kind of timing you out. That was a horrible experience. I would much rather wait 30 minutes to get a good game. I like good games. So like for me personally, I'm not speaking for everybody, but like I think you should incentivize the other classes by maybe giving them gold or whatever, whatever is needed, which is I think what one of the tests was doing.
I think that was hinted at, right?
Yeah, but I personally would rather wait for a much better game.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Yeah, waiting a half hour for a scenario, that would suck, but it sucks less than getting into 3 scenarios where you get absolutely no kills, so you get absolutely no rewards. Well, I don't even mind losing, but if you lose with no kills, you get literally nothing for your time. So you just have wasted time. You get nothing.
Yeah, I personally think balanced groups are, a good thing. And, I'm willing to wait for it as someone that will have to wait as a DPS.
So what you're saying, you'd rather wait the length of time and at least have a decent group and have a chance at getting something as opposed to having a bunch of matches and basically getting nothing.
Yep.
Correct. And I can agree with, because having for so many years played it where I'll get match after match after match where it's uneven and you get nothing to show for it, which is kind of disheartening, especially to a new player, to say nothing of a veteran. I mean, as you say, I'm willing to wait. If it takes 30 minutes, I'd rather wait 30 minutes and get a decent match than get in, like you said, two or three matches and nothing to show for it.
Definitely not. Steven brings up a good point. Setting a basic reward for SC would be nice. That way you get something out of the scenario. Even if you get absolutely trounced.
I think you do get some renown, I'm pretty sure, but it's basically nothing.
It's like 300.
Yeah. And 1 crest, if I recall. You still get 1 crest. just the participation trophy.
Just for showing up.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is like, if you do balance the teams, it also, so like I've talked a lot about like, doing the war camp fight is like the lowest mental effort to like get content, right? You just go do it. If you put the queue in and like the groups are balanced, that's also something you can just log in and do. And you're not just getting stomped over and over. And it teaches people, like, it's much better for newer players to like see, okay, like this is what a fight looks like in 2-2-2. Here, like, oh, I can't kill this person because the tank is just sitting on them. Maybe we need to coordinate a tank hunt into stun. You know what I mean? So like I'm all for waiting to get better games. Like I can't really see a reason to not, besides, the wait obviously, but
well, the scenarios I got into, like you were saying, the scenarios I got into did tend to be more fun. Now we still had like, I don't know, there was like one or two of them that was just, our group was outclassed because of, I guess, the skill of the other teams. Or the other team may have been a pre-made anyway, whatever. But most of them were much more fun fights, much more balanced fights. So I was all for it too. Like you're saying, if it takes an extra 15-20 minutes, I'm in your court. I think it'd be worth it.
Previously on Way of the Dragon. Back alley showdown in progress. This dude named Jimmy versus Jersey Mike. Uh-oh, Jimmy dead. He got laid out Mike's way. Bruce was pissed. You didn't have to kill Jimmy, man. He was a good dude. Hope you don't have any plans tonight. Cause you dead. Ike Turner went to work. I'ma beat you like I beat my... Turns Ike into a futon. He was comfortably dead. Only two bad guys left, Shaggy and a black dude named Scooby. Shaggy got kicked out the movie. Scooby-Doo, Scooby dead.
And I think that incentivizing is also a good idea and also can give people money for PvPing. If tanks are in need, give them a gold or something. Give healers a gold to queue. That way it mitigates the wait times.
Or 50 gold.
Yeah. I've always thought that the reward systems when it comes to gold, like on all the quests, on the keeps and all that stuff, I thought the money was always just really cheap, man. I mean, what do these guys think they're actually giving away? It's not real. It's only real in context because you can spend it in the game. So I've always thought it's been way too cheap.
So they could even set it up like GDKP sort of, where if you're in renown 80 or higher, it costs you gold to queue up, and that gold is split with everybody who's not 80 in those scenarios.
No.
That's a punishment, yeah.
No, it's not. It's a reward for everybody else.
Except the guy.
That would be punishing the higher person.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they deserve to be punished. They're bad.
No.
Above 80.
No.
Alright.
As somebody that used to play EverQuest back in the old days, and I know what the KD, that old system. No. Just no. You don't need a system that punishes one and favors the other.
Previously on Star Wars. Laser gun battle in progress. Dead rebels were everywhere, blasted by stormtroopers. Darth Vader walked in.
Okay, let me see what's going on here. Dead and dead. I like it. Nice job, fellas.
Meanwhile, R2-D2 got caught creeping in the shadows.
What in the hell? Hey, what were you doing back there? A job? What kind of job? Oh my god, you are so gross. But is she still back there?
Yeah! All right, everybody, gather around and watch closely as I demonstrate how to choke a bitch out with one hand. I don't exercise and I don't eat right. What you are witnessing is the power of the dark side. Now, if you want to know more, hit me on my hologram. You know the number. Back to work, y'all.
But Toth, it's not going to punish you. Aren't you like renown 15?
Hermit's trolling you, Tosh. Or Toth.
Yeah, he's trolling.
Alright.
I wonder if it'll be trolling when I take my hammer and crush his skull.
What hammer?
You got
what class
light.
uses a hammer? I don't think you can use a hammer.
My iron breaker.
You don't have an iron breaker.
Yes, I do.
You're a hardcore Destro player.
No, I'm not.
Oh my god. I'm glad I lived long enough to hear that. Alright guys. I have I need to express
we've just hit the 3-hour mark.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta go. But I do want to real quick express my appreciation. It was great that you guys all showed up. As Toth said, I ran these by myself for a while. And it's just really I'm just really happy to see you guys show up and participate.
Awesome.
So
Getting to like interact with everybody like this.
Yeah, I think it's good too because like Toth said earlier, the transcripts go into the.
I just don't think you're the right fit for the kind of work we're doing here, so I've requested to have you transferred.
Captain, but...
This conversation's over. You're dismissed.
Right, but...
This is the end of the conversation.
Captain, if I could...
You can't.
Right, but I had this as
The conversation's over.
All right, zip it. You can't even... Zip it. Zip.
This is why I ended the conversation. I'm having you transferred. End of conversation.
It would be rude and irresponsible to end a conversation.
The conversation's over.
You know, you're like a child. Talking, if you just one time. Zip it.